live stream. I'm just setting a few things up and then we will start momentarily. We were gonna look at another AnimChallenge. We're gonna have a look at other people's animation and see what we can learn from them. I'm just setting a bunch of things up here. Gonna be ready in a second. Test if everything is working. If there's anyone already listening to me, please let me know if you can hear me clearly. And maybe the music is a little bit loud. I don't know. But oh well. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at animations for the AnimChallenge Facebook group. And yeah, okay. I think I'm ready, so let's begin. Welcome everyone. Today we're gonna have a look at some people's animation that were submitted to the AnimChallenge Facebook group. Yeah, and I mean, it's February, but we're gonna look at Christmas animations. I'm a little bit behind. Today we're gonna have a look at the animations submitted to the AnimChallenge Facebook group in December 2019. And of course, because it was December, those were Christmas themed. But I mean, here in Germany it's still very cold, so it might as well still be Christmas. And as always, we're gonna look through them and see what we can find, what we can learn from, and yeah, all this good stuff. See what we can improve, see what was done well, and yeah. The first one is already 2D animation. Oh goody, let's have a look at that. That's a fun animation. That's a lot of fun. Really cool. This animation done by Martin Cordier. A lot of sliding on the roof. Oh, and how the sack is sliding down. That's really, really cool. Lots of good stuff in here. So okay, the first move here is already really interesting. Like, I like how the long anticipation at the end. Like, you can really feel some resistance, and it's really crazy how fast it all of a sudden goes. I mean, he does a full 180 spin, but the sack is lagging a little bit behind, so that is catching a lot of that motion. That's pretty cool. That's really nice. I love this sideways walk. See how far he lifts the leg during this walk here? This is a really nice touch. This really gives him this bouncy, bumbly walk. And then, oh my god, he slips. And I think it's really important that the rhythm is broken here. Like, it's like step, 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 boom. And there he's on the roof. I love that the sack starts sliding. That's a really cool turn too. Look at that. That really makes it feel like it's slippery. Like, I think under normal conditions you would probably get up where you are, but because it's slippery where he is, he rolls to the side and gets up a little further over there. That's a really nice touch. And then he got enough. I'm not quite sure about the change of rhythm at the end. I get that in the end he is very, very impatient and just slams the sack into the chimney. Like, that's pretty cool. But I think then here it needs a little break before he falls. I think that would have been a nice touch if after this one, after this, there would be like a little pause, and maybe before the next step, he would slip. Oh, one interesting thing if 2D animators are too lazy to separate the characters to be on 2 layers, you know, 1 layer in front and 1 layer behind the roof, you have the outline cutting into the layer that is actually in front of the roof. Can you see that over there? It's still left over there. I think you don't notice it in the animation, but sometimes it's better to, you know, do that extra work. Oh yeah, I think this one is clearly, you see the difference? There's no black outline here. This one is definitely behind the roof. But yeah, really fun animation. Let's have a look at the next one. If there's anyone in the chat, please say hi, so I know that everything's working, that you can hear me and stuff like that. That would be nice to know. Of course, we're continuing with Christmas animation that were submitted to the AnimChallenge in December 2019. And we have a nice weight exercise here. And a puppy. Of course. Aww. Okay, so a classic weight exercise. And the thing with weight is at a certain point, everything is moving at the same speed. Like, especially if you let something fall, it's moving at the same speed. But what makes an object heavy is how resistant it is to change. And I wonder if the easing here is a little bit too light, a little bit too small, because that really makes the difference. Not how fast you can get an object in the end, but how slow you have to start. And with heavy things, you have to really start slow. But I mean, okay, I guess a puppy's not that heavy, although that's a big puppy. Okay, so I kind of like that he can't push it up to a certain point. I'm not sure if you should have something happening with the leg back here and the package here at the same time. And that has nothing to do, my concern has nothing to do with reason. It's just a decision that you could make. If you have 2 things moving at 2 sides of the screen, the eye sometimes doesn't know what to look at. So I think in this case, the package would be more important. So I would probably tune down the leg motion at the end a little bit. But I mean, it's still okay. And then here, this what happens now is very typical when dealing with heavy objects. If an object is too heavy, then the lighter object has to get way. And in this case, the person pushing is the lighter object, and he's sliding back. So that's, you know, that's something that can actually happen. Like if you would try to shove a house or something like that, or the wall of a house, this is what would happen. You would shove yourself back. So I don't know. I think the package shifts a little bit in weight. Like at the beginning here, it feels relatively light. And then here, it's strong enough to push him back. So I think overall, it could have been a little more ease. I love the puppy, how he's like bouncing out and with the tongue hanging out, some nice follow through. The tongue is making the motions that the hat are making a little later. There might be a little bit of a bump during the head turn. Let's see if we can see that. Oh my god, I love how long the tongue gets. Okay, now this is almost, the head is almost at the stopping position, and the tongue overshoots. Well, it doesn't overshoot that far. Yeah, but now it's being dragged behind, and then it's going in front after the head stopped here. I like that the dog is looking into the wrong direction first. I don't know how realistic it is. I mean, I guess when you're in a box, you know what direction you are shoved from. But those are some nice head turns. And I love the little interaction. That's quite nice. That lick Really, really cool. Very nice animation done by Vanessa Firmer. Looks like a German name. Hello. Guten Tag. All right, very lovely animation. Let's have a look at the next one. What? Ah, somehow it's so weird how this has like a feeling to it, like a very light, magical, whimsical feeling when he sits down. Oh my god, that's pretty cool. Okay, so the shot. This is something we all the animators know. You know, you have Facebook open, and on the other screen you have your work that you should be animating on. And in this case, it's the same thing. That's pretty cool. Oh my god, there's so much cool stuff just in that first motion. Like, just look at the finger here. See how the finger settles? Like there's just the slightest little follow through and overshoot. This is so nice. Oh my god. Oh, and then the head is coming forward in an arc. Very important, very nice. And this is so cool how he's putting weight on the arm during the head turn. Here, to have a little extra push, but then uses the hand to grab it. So, you know, this is not just pose-to-pose animation. There's something happening during the breakdown. For the hand, the breakdown of the head motion is a keyframe. And so it's all like interchained, and one thing after the other, how the weight is distributed and what element is leading when and what elements are following when. Like, at first, the head is moving, and this arm just drops down, and he puts weight on this arm. But then, suddenly, this arm starts leading. And it does it in an arc. Going a little up first, and then down to grab the head. That is pretty... Okay, I think he's pulling off the Christmas hat a little too straight. Yeah, it looks like he's dragging it through the bird. But that's probably how you would realistically grab it. I mean, if you don't know that there's anything in there, you would drag it sideways. Oh yeah, and it's bent down a little bit, the bird. Hey, Dragon Skunk Studio. Okay, it's great to know that everything's going well, that you can hear me. Hey, Frank Makes Movies. Watching on your phone while doing dishes, now at the desktop. Oh, that's great. Isn't it amazing what we can do nowadays? And look at how he's placing the head on his head. There's this little up key, but everything is a little higher. The head, the shoulders, and like it really gives a weight to when everything drops down. That's pretty cool. Look at this. Like you can really feel this. Timing is pretty interesting on this one too. Like look at how relatively fast the motions are, but you see everything because the things that are important are slow or have a little bit of a break. And this is what I see too little, especially in people who start 3D animation. Like, hold your poses sometimes. Like, you don't need big moving holds. Like, just hold them. And then you can do a faster motion, and then you hold it a little. Oh my god, this double take, looking over, looking back, looking over again, and then the timing changes again. And see how right before he falls, we have this great big pose, and also a pause to see this pose, and then a fast motion again. Really cool. And the bird reacting, how he tilts the head. And that motion, like this person didn't animate a bird for the first time, or if they did, they really researched it. Because these head motions, those sudden head motions, are so nice. And those jumps, like this really comes alive. Really nice. Nice work by this person. Eric. Really cool stuff. It's really awesome. I love how, like, if you add birds to it, like interacting with the character, how somehow this gets something whimsical, something magical. Really nice idea. Okay, let's see what else we have. By Monty Bear. Some cartoony action. Somebody's really trying to kill Santa Claus, I guess. Oh my god, lots of fun. And here again, so important, the pauses. Like, he's coming down, we have a little dangly follow through on the hat. A little bit of anticipation. And then he completely vanishes. This is also interesting how, look at that, he vanishes, and now is completely rotated, and there the leg comes first. Just the leg, actually. There's not anything else from the body. That's pretty cool. And there comes the rest. This rig is completely, completely stretched, completely broken. That's really cool. Look at these in-between poses. And of course we have a little bouncy overshoot and then settling in that pose, but all in so little time. I love those little head motions looking around. And see how they also have a pause. Like, it's not, he's not doing this. I often see that when beginner make a character look around, they often animate looking around like that, but people can't see anything. You need to, like, pause, you know, like the bird we just saw in the other case, in the other video. Ender Paris Lopez animation says, hey, all pretty cool ideas so far. Yeah, there are some really great ideas. I'm ready. I should have done this much sooner. I'm sorry that we're looking at the Christmas animations in February, but better later than never, right? Ah, this little gulp. This has so many little touches. That's really cool. And here, this is such a cartoony thing to do. Like, he jumps into the air and stays there, and only the legs move around. Really, really nice. And then left, right, left, right. Really clear patterns, really, really nice to see. And look at these poses. Like, even these poses are staged in an interesting way, where he's just going fast from one side to another. And those smear frames are really important to connect the tracks, so we actually know from which side to which side he's going. Isn't that cool? This is 3D. And there's that trick again where the body is held still and the legs are still moving. And there he goes in a big smear. So nice. It's very pose to pose if you think about it, but it's a lot. It has a lot of poses. Look at how, like, the pose that we see, the pose that we notice is that one. But there is a little bit of like a breakdown anticipation thing here up in the air. And this is very, very important. It changes a lot how the motion feels to us. Look at this. Yeah, it gives it like a punch. Like it gives his tongue motion a punch, as if he is anticipating for a hit or something. And then of course also the classic, he gets hit with something just completely still while the object is bouncing off. One thing after another, like let him get hit first, let the pen fly away first, and then he falls. Really fun, really cool. Thank you very much for this animation. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, we got another roof one. Oh no. What a bouncy belly. This animation is done by Derek Lucian. Let me show the name down here. Yeah, I love the slow beginning again. That's always fun. Just an arc here. The composition of the image is not quite as it would be in a movie. I feel like if you wanted to tell, like if we're already aware with Santa, like this is a movie about Santa Claus, then the screen would probably be something like this, or maybe just a little lower so we see a little more of the roof. If you wanted to tell that somebody's just spotted Santa, I would go with a view a lot closer to the ground, maybe something more like this. You can't really see my lines. Let me zoom out a little more. Yeah, so I think the camera is not quite right to stage this animation perfectly, but okay, there we have the spiraling arms. Was somebody saying that in the chat earlier? That's a very classic thing to do. Are they completely symmetrical? Because I think it would look even more goofy if you would offset them a little more. I think in the end they are offset a little bit, but maybe you could offset them more. I don't like how there's this one fast swoop. Something isn't quite right about this. I think if I would animate this, I would probably try different timings, try different rhythms for the arm swings. And let's see if the moment is right where he loses the... I think the problem is, look at the arc of his bag. Oh, let me get the pen. The arc of his bag is like this, and when he lets go of the sack, there's a lot of tension that is released all of a sudden. So, like, at least this spacing, he should go into the other direction. And because he's so leaned back already, he will probably just fall immediately, because there's that much tension being released. So I think you could fix that by having him at first pull it a little more like this, which might be interesting too, to have it a little more to have a little bit of an angle contrast. Like at the moment the sack and the angle of the back here, they're almost the same. Sometimes it can be nice to break that. You know, sometimes it's good to have a flow going through the entire character. Sometimes it's good to break it. But here you need the leanway, because when you release the tension, it has to go somewhere. So yeah, let's mark this, and then let's see when he lets go of the sack. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's like almost at the same spot, and he should already be a lot further. And then he's trying to get back. That doesn't work. I like these frames though, like a lot of cool still frames here. Oh my god, that looks painful. Poor Santa. This arc is a little bit too much. You have to think about that energy is kind of reflected. So if you hit, and he hits relatively straight, you kind of, if you throw a ball, it would reflect the angle in which it was and in which it hit the surface. So if you hit a surface very flat, the ball is gonna jump very flat too. And if you hit at a very steep angle, that's gonna happen too. And here we have a relatively steep angle, like he's coming down like that, so he would probably bounce off like this, but he instead goes off a lot more like this. I mean, I guess you can do that if you want Santa to feel a little bit like a cartoony gummy ball. Like there are reasons where you can do this. But then it might, I think it's just too fast. I like this though, this little follow through, and then the belly wobbling. It's coming weirdly to a stop. Like there's no ease in the wobble. But yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, Derek, for this animation. I already see a couple questions in the chat. If you have any questions about animation, anything that you would like to know about how to animate, maybe you have a problem in your animation, or maybe you have a question about how to become an animator, you can write that in the chat, and at the end of this live stream, we're gonna do a little Q&A. But yeah, for now, let's continue. There are quite a few animations left to watch. Here we have an animation by Sergio Donoso. Oh, another puppy present. How cute. Oh, there are some missing frames there. I think that's not me. Yeah, the flashing frames are always the same, so this seems to be how this project seemed to be rendered. Okay, so this person obviously knows the animation principle, tries to do good posing and has like follow-throughs and overshoots, but the problem here is a lot more basic. I don't believe the situation. Because at first the girl is sneaking, and well, why is she sneaking? She is probably sneaking to look into the gift, right? That's why she's sneaking to a place where she knows that the gift is hidden. But why does she act so surprised when she sees it? Like here, it feels like she was all the time sneaking towards the present, but now she's acting like she has seen it for the first time. And I feel like that doesn't quite connect. And all the sneakiness is gone all of a sudden. Like she's even acting as if she wants to make... You know, if we are with people, we sometimes react, or often react stronger to stuff because we want the other people to notice our emotion. You know, so if someone gives me a present, I might act a little more, show my emotion a little more than if I'm just all by myself. You know, because I don't need to present readable emotions to someone else. So the sneakiness and that big emotion, this big happiness, I feel like it doesn't quite connect. Like, it's well animated. Both of these instances are quite well animated, but I don't think it's quite believable. It's good animation, but I feel like it's not the best choice. Like, you should stick with your choice. Does that make any sense? And here, this is a camera that's clear. That's a pose that's clearly performing to the camera. Yeah, I mean, you can do that legitimately, but that's another acting thing. Like, the puppy will more react to being picked up and would need like a second to orient itself again. I do like the fall. I do like the timing of it. The poses are held in the right way. Some poses feel a little too, just a little too samey. Like, I would probably break this shape a lot so you don't have the knees on the same height. Then you could maybe think about pushing her up even straighter and have a straight arm here, and maybe have one arm raised for defense, like something like that. Then personally, I always like to tilt the head more to make a statement, like either pull it back further to, you know, strengthen the emotion a little, strengthen the carefulness, or maybe even if a few frames later she could lean in and be interested, because, you know, the danger is gone, but she still has some leftovers from the defense position. I love to do this. Like, a lot of 3D animators sometimes change poses too much. I mean, I guess 2D animators too. Like, what am I doing here? Splitting the animation community into two halves. This is a fault that can happen to anyone. I think pose variations before you go to the next big pose can be a really nice thing. But yeah, okay, I think I leave it with that. Very well animated. I would give the acting behind it a little more thought. And yeah, thank you very much, Sergio Donoso. Okay, let's have a look at the next animation. Okay. Huh. Okay, I do like that initial, like, I feel like this has some cinematography to it. Like the cinemascope, that's really cool. It feels like there's a camera guy on the ground filming them. The walk cycles are pretty nice. The walks are nice. The poses are really readable. Like, look at this. That's really cool. I mean, actually, the pose could be a little bit clearer. But that might be the perspective, the compression, sorry, of the video. I wonder if the arm would be better. Over there, if there could be a pose that is even more clear. I don't know. It's pretty good. The walk cycle is pretty good too. But I do not quite, a nice snowman by the way, I do not quite like the slow motion, because it feels so disconnected. Like, we have this super awesome cinematic shot, like super inventive, super cool, and then this is just, the camera is straight, the guy is in the middle. Like, it's one of the most boring compositions that you could possibly do. Oh, Dragon Skunk writes, this is a Dutch angle? Yeah, this is called a Dutch angle. I didn't know. But, you know, then we have this very boring composition. And also, you know, the hit is happening off screen here. I mean, you could leave it with that. I think if we would see the ball hit, then it would make sense to cut closer to it. But yeah, there probably could have been a better angle for this. That's just, you know, just as cool, just as entertaining as the other one. I do like the poses again, like how his face goes to the side. Like, that's pretty cool. And the arms lagging behind. That's nice. Yeah, a lot of fun. I just feel like that last shot could have been more clear. And this was an animation by Michael Pham. Really cool. Okay, we have a little bit of a story here. That's quite nice. Dragon Skunk explains, when your camera is rotated and the horizon is turned, that's a Dutch angle. Okay, good to know. I like the playfulness in this one, and it's really cool how look at just the feet. Look at just the feet for a second. If I had a scene like this, what I would do is I would animate the feet first, and I would take them out of the master controller and just move the IK feet, that little placeholder at the bottom of the feet, around until I have a rhythm that I like. There are some things that are a little bit problematic, like having both legs, both feet slide at the same time. That is something that, yeah, I mean, it does happen. It can happen, especially during dancing. There might be dance moves that do that. But usually what would happen is that one feet would stay planted while the other one is moving, sliding or whatever, and then the other one is doing the majority of the motion after that. It's at the same time can be a little bit problematic. And like how this one turns, no, wait, the other one, this one, just this complete flip, that's not quite realistic. But I feel like you don't really notice. And after that, it continues how it should be. I wonder if there should be a little more of a hip settle. Like, so far, the hip was always going nicely up and down. Like, especially look at this one, when he plants that foot there, that foot here, look at the hip. going down, settling down like this. And then when in the end he drags this foot back, there's none of that. Okay, he has a lot of weight on the back leg, but okay, the hip is dropping later. I guess that's okay too. I personally think that last dip up is a little too fast. I think the problem is not even the speed. It's just that there's not much of a follow through. Like the shoulders and the head are not lagging behind. Like I feel like there should be a breakdown frame where, you know, that body part is already at the position where it's supposed to be. Then next, the chest is already at this position. Let's do that in another color. The chest is already at the stopping position, but the rest is still tilted back. And then as a last thing, everything should flip over. I feel like it could just be a couple frames more. But yeah, overall very playful, very nice. It's good to really, like, if you have a character that you see completely like this, it's really nice to go all out. I think I would have reduced the motion a little more here before he does the big motion, so we notice the other person getting ready to expose him. I love the anticipation and the overshoot. Like, most of the flipping off motion is like you don't see him actually flip that button for a long time. What you see for quite a few frames is the anticipation and the pose after it, and it really helps you to understand what's going on. And the snappiness is a nice little, like, I poke you, I ruin your plans with just a poke. That's quite fun. I wonder if it would have been good to, like, because he's reacting to the camera. Oh, we didn't see that yet. He's reacting to the camera, and realistically, you would react to a person. Like, you would react to the person who switched off your recorder, right? You would look around. I mean, maybe initially there would be a shot like, oh, I'm caught, like, just in the direction that you happen to be looking at. But that's not what's happening here. The person is looking at the camera. And the camera is not established to be a person. The camera was established to be a floating whatever camera entity. And there seems to be water here. Like, there seems to be like a pier or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a street and it's just not rendered. I don't know. But it makes me feel like I'm standing here in water, or I guess the world just ended because this is the background color. But I don't feel like the camera is spectators that the person could look at. So, I mean, I get the setup, but then I would probably have kept the camera lower to really drive that point home. Did I say who animated this? This was done by Oscar Xo. Thank you very much. Really cool animation, really playful. The beginning, I really enjoyed it. Okay, next one. That is so sad. That's a lot crammed into these 10 seconds. Oh my god, I love that there's so much emotion in this. Like you can really feel that. And a lot of good poses. Unfortunately, it's a bit rushed. I think it could be even more powerful if there was so much more time. Like even after the kiss, like it just takes a little time to switch topics, so to speak. Like, you know, they were like in a like kissy cuddly mood, and then to go to food, to go back to the food needs a little bit of a transition, and she picks it up so fast. Like, does the fork just appear in her hand? Like, and then, you know, this is just so fast. I feel like there is some thinking, like in these eyes, there is some I'm looking down, but there's no process of like getting the idea to feed him. Like there's no time to develop the sweetness that it needs. Interesting thing, she is feeding him, but she is opening her mouth. And I don't know if this is intentional, but this is actually something that can happen. Like, when you think about doing something, you might mimic that behavior. Or, I mean, look at mothers taking care of their kids. Like, they're always making faces and grimaces in front of them. And that's quite interesting. And that, like, he's chewing really quickly, like, and he's having this, I like it. Like, there's a little beat in that for, how wonderful. And look at what the eyebrows are doing. Like, they're not coming to a rest. Like, there's so many stuff happening one after the other. You need to pause that. You need to hold that for a moment. And like her reaction is like at the same time with his. Like I guess it's a little later, but those things seem to happen one after the other. Nice how when she has like this little giggle, she's pulling up her shoulder. That's quite cute. That's very nice. There's so many nice touches in there. I feel like the same animation just spread out a little bit on the timeline could be so much more powerful. It already is powerful, but love that emotion change. And then you just fade out. Like, you seem to be so rushed to get to the end. Like, now this happens, while the tear is running down, you're fading out. Like, you're not enjoying, you're not playing with your audience. You're not, like, you made your audience feel things, and then you just fade to dark immediately. No. Take your time. Take your time. Hold some poses. One thing after the other. Very cool half blink here. If you're trying to look at something or someone intensely, you will still have the impulse to blink, but because you want to keep the eye open, it's staying open. The head is wiggling around a little too much. Like, I would probably keep it one motion, like, you know, like this. Yeah, I'm now staring like I'm in love into the camera. That is what it comes to when I do animation critiques here. I don't really like that facial expression. First of all, I wonder if you should go to over the shoulder a little more clearly. Like, have her at the one side, that, and him over here. That would be more classic. tilt the head even more. I love stuff like that. But that facial expression, like, he's not really looking at her, right? Like, he's staring down. I know this can be so tricky to find the right eye position. That's also not it. I don't know, sometimes in 3D you have to cheat a little because the eye lines don't look like they're connected. But it's more important that they look like they are connected than them being actually correct. And eye contact, like especially if you're pulling up an emotional flirty scene like that, it's really important. Like, yeah, this is a lot better, I feel like. Still, the camera could be a little more to the right. But yeah. Oh my god, how her I love how motionless she stays and then just her face drops. That's really cool. Really good animation. Thank you. Jessica Go. Really nice. Good work. Just take it a little slower next time. So I would say we skip a couple because there are not that many left actually, I think. Maybe we can actually do all of them. Let's go a little quicker and I'll try to do all of them. Because otherwise my idea was to skip a little around. Because usually I only do the animations that were submitted first. And I feel like that's a little unfair to people who take their time to submit the video. So that's probably something we're going to do more often. For other challenges that we take some of the later videos. Okay, what have we here? An animation by Brian Wang. Brian. Uh-oh. Oh no! How horrible! It destroyed Santa's sleigh. Oh my, that's a very hard scene to pull off. I do like that we have this little depth thing. I wonder if this, like, I mean, this gives us the impression that we see this on a monitor, but then this is like a shot that we would see like in an action film, in a James Bond film, of the actual outside. Like, this is not what they see on the screen. Like, why would they place the cameras so in a way that they see like the things just flying up straight? I don't know. Because I feel like if they would be shooting like from a tower or from I don't know, wherever they're shooting at, I feel like from spaceships I'm so used that the objects would fly like that. So I would probably just get rid of this target thing and have it be a cinematic shot. And maybe they could be slower. Something is not right about the spacing too. Like, this is a relatively close spacing. Like, just look at the red top. Oh! Did you see that? It just shifted sideways. It's going in twos and then shifting sideways? Why is it doing that? Is the camera moving? It's like a shaking camera. It feels like, oh yeah. Now I can see it. Do you see this? It's like stuttering, the rocket. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would just drag it through straight and actually relatively slow. Because then, like, if you see a rocket launch, like an actual spaceship going to space, like it's relatively slow. It's really slow because it's so big. And I know a missile is a lot smaller, but I would still take my time. Just 5 to 10 frames more. And the same with that motion. And really take some time before you cut. Like, have them slowly approaching to build up some tension. I love that the reindeer. I love that run cycle. That's really nice. I wonder if the head tilt needs to be taken even further. Something like that, where you can see the antlers going in like a 3/4 silhouette. That might be nice. Love that arc that is starting here. I wonder if it could be a little further over there. I think this is how it is. I think it could be pushed out a little more to really make use of the screen space, but great arc. That's nice. That's pretty. Yeah, and I feel like overall the missiles could be slower. They would still read as big and dangerous. And then I feel like the reindeer needs to react to the sleigh being shut down. Like, even if he's just looking back, I think that could be pretty nice. Yeah, but really nice idea. I love the idea. Like, the topic was just Christmas, and yeah, it's quite fun. Okay, let's have a look at the next animation. By Paul Animate. What? Is that a Santa pirate? Okay, again, we have, like we talked about cartoony rules earlier, we have a very snappy motion, and then we have a settle that really helps us to see the motion. And, you know, smear frames, we've already seen this before, really cool. Nice roll shown there. What the what? This is really cool. It's cartoony, so we believe it. And he trips over the book. I wonder if a breakdown could make that even more clear. The tripping. That, like, he's rotating because of the book. Then you see it more clearly. And maybe you can put in like a facial expression. And then it's much better to see that everything originated from here, you know? Dragon Skunk says, I find that Epic Pen a really useful tool when you are animating. Yeah, I'm making the annotations with a little tool called Epic Pen, and it's really cool if you're like animating and you need to see like an arc. You can just draw it onto your screen and it stays there, and that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good tip. I really like doing that too. Yeah, and then you, after we've seen this breakdown, you can have him fall as quickly as you had it. What is that happening with the beard? Like that upper pose? Oh my god. That is really cool. and then just like a snake. I think I would have left a beat. I mean, it's kind of fun that there's no beat, that he goes from snake motion immediately to like a human standing. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do that to break the rhythm. Love that little secondary animation on the finger. That's pretty cool. That laughter, that is seen in the shoulders too. Like laughter, a big mistake is having laughter just in the mouth. But that's only how Skeletor laughs. Real people, if they really laugh, you can see it in the chest, in the shoulders. Nice anticipation, we see it. Change of pace, change of rhythm. Held completely still. Yeah, really cool. Very cartoony, very fun. Thank you, Paul. Next one, we're going back to the roof. Oh, wow. There's a lot of weight, and oh my god, this posing is so nice. And here's what oh my god. See how slow he is. Like it takes like a second. Yeah, almost 2 seconds for him to get there. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of an anticipation, but that's like 18 frames or something. Like it really, probably 20 frames. It really takes its time to be slow at the top. There's a little bit of a magnetic pull to the left. That might be a little too much. I mean, and sometimes these things look weird because of perspective. Like I think a 2D animator will probably animate this a little more like this, with the peak being here, and a 3D animator would tilt the scene, or see it from the side view and probably animate it correctly. But sometimes that makes the peak look like it's a little further to the right, and that might be more realistic. But to me, I don't know, I like my peaks to be kind of like in the middle of that motion. Maybe just nudge it a little over. Oh my god, and this landing, how he's sliding up a little bit. His feet are like in this faster rhythm. Oh, that's so beautiful. And then look at how many steps he needs to get up. He's putting weight on that arm. And then swaying over. Oh man, and this was the anticipation for that big faster motion. Oh, and this is so, look at this, how he pulls out the string of the sack. Like his arm, look at this one, this arm. And how long the string gets, and this is just staying here for a couple of frames before it goes over. And how the sack is not bouncing. It's not bouncing because it's heavy. Heavy objects are resistant to change. They don't want to change. That is what makes it feel heavy. And that the last spacing is quite big. Ah, this is so beautiful. Look at how much is happening here at the climbing. Like he has to change position with the hand. Do you see that? That is so good. And there's so much going on with the feet. Like the feet are sliding here. Oh my god. And then he gets like a grip on the chimney, putting the string across his shoulder. Like he's preparing first. And then he jumps in and gets stuck. Really cool animation. I can't even pronounce your name. Kazuyuki Inu. Really nice work. I love it. Okay. So we got some dancing here. There's some nice flows in here. Look at how she's always like dragging curves with her limbs. That's so nice. Oh my god. And how, look at this, how one thing is turning after the other. We have like that leg, the other leg, that leg, the other leg, then the arm, and this gives this nice swirly impression. Really cool. I wonder if there was some reference used to do that. And then this very delicate with a little bit of anticipation. Really nice. And it's it's a change of rhythm too. Very elegant. Again, acting wise, I have a little bit of a problem with like who's she posing for. Like, you need to decide, is she a ballet dancer who just happens to be in a super good mood and she's alone at home and that's why she's so outgoing and so, you know, enjoying life and doing what she can do, which is dance, but she's not dancing for someone. She's not posing for someone. This is what I get from the beginning. Like, she's just playful and doing it for fun for herself. But here, I don't know. I feel like this pose is so staged and kind of like a fake thingy that you do when other people are around to, I don't know, to play a certain character. I don't know. Feels a little too exaggerated for me. Now, and this again feels like somebody like this feels like she's just personally enjoying it. Like that's nice. That fits to the story that we had in the beginning. Oh my god. I love how in the first place the ladder's already far too close, like far too tipped over. Oh my. And the poses, I feel like I just held the right amount of time. Like, it's a good mix between cartoony and feeling like there's a little bit of physics behind it. Okay, and then she is jumping off the... She's actually jumping off it to save herself. Yeah. I wonder if there's something with the timing. Nah, it's actually... Timing is okay. But afterwards, I feel like there's something not quite right with the spacing. Like, we have this, which almost feels like the peak of her. I guess this is the peak of her jump. And then there's suddenly those huge spacings. All of a sudden, like, we have relatively small spacings here. And we go from these small spacings already to, like, very large. Like, just this distance is already very large. I feel like the tree... Because she was so slow. I think there are two ways to do this. Either have her already be fast before she's hitting the tree and have some eases here, and then you can immediately take the... I mean, I guess that's what this person tried to do. But let's say the tree is here and now being hit. Then I would understand if the first frame would be something where the tree is already tilted. But I feel like because she's relatively slow at the peak of her motion, I feel like the tree and her should continue a little slower first and then get faster and faster. Maybe. That would be something that I would try. And the star. how the star is coming down last. Really nice touch. Okay, nice animation by Ari Baba. Okay. Okay. Timing wise, I feel like this animation could leave a little more time too, because we have a heavy character. It needs to start moving with a lot of ease. We had that earlier. I don't think it makes sense that he looks to that side. Why would he look away from the house? He's obviously trying to get into the house. So I don't know. I think I know that you want him to face the camera so you see more of him, but I think it would make a lot more sense if he just, especially you start kind of sneaky, if he just came around the corner to see if there was something would be a lot more believable. And then you can have him make like a double take. If that is too quick for you, he can just have a second look. I think that would be sufficient. And then, like, this is the reaction of somebody who knows that a window is there. Like, he's turning and he's immediately like, oh, a window. And that is bad acting. Like, if you go like, oh, a window, like, it's not realistic. Like, people go like, ah, there's a window. You know, there's a little bit of a time. It's not like, oh, a window. It's, oh, I could get in there. There's just that tiny bit of a delay can make such a huge difference. Yeah, for the walk, give him a nice bouncy walk where you hold him in the air a little bit, and then when he comes down, you really bend the knees. Like, you have all the right keyframes there. It's just a little too fast. I like that adjusting of the waist. That is pretty fun. And it doesn't, you know what this feels like? It feels like a silent movie. A silent movie kind of thing where the film is running a little bit too fast. Yeah, nice animation by Sonali Singh. Thank you very much. Just, for me, the timing is a little too fast, but very nice poses. What have we here? Okay. Karl Emil Seidler says about the Santa in the previous one, I like he's square, so to enter the furnace better. Yeah, he fits better in the chimney when he has a square butt. That is cool. It's a really interesting character, that pick. I like how, like, you can feel, you can get a certain feeling for the kind of character that he is. And there is some nice follow through in his ears when he's sitting down. But what is not happening, that when he's easing here, the ears should already come down. The ears should already overshoot. Like that. And then when he's going back, it could be even more like that. Yeah, and then those nice arcs in the gestures, that's really nice. Is he doing the finger twirl but 2 times? I guess he's twirling the glass a little, and then he's doing that hand motion. I would probably only do one, or take a little more time for the wine twirl before you start. Oh, because it's the year of the pig. That's why he's a pig. Okay, and then here we have another case of he's scared immediately. I think he should not react that fast because he is expecting the thing to turn, right? It's a turning cheese plate kind of thing. So he knows that it turns. I think it should turn first and then he should react. Oh, come on. Let me see it again. And maybe he should already throw the glass while he is scared, because I feel like in the surprise I can hide an upward motion where he throws up the glass, but when he's starting to walk, he's throwing his arm more like sideways. It's not realistic that it's coming straight down to the mouse. Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of the right elements here. I would just play around with the direction of the forces and the timing a little more. But overall, really nice animation by Tatiana Pugashevskaya. I'm sorry with your names, guys, but I try my best. Really awesome animation. Okay. Next one by Lucas Jacobson.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
What? The what?
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Okay, this I don't know the. Where's this from? Is it from Die Hard?
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Huh. Okay, yeah, obviously there's not that much animation to critique here. Okay. I think we're gonna leave it with that. Let's see. Do we have another Christmas themed one, or are we already in the? We're already in the next theme. I'm already looking forward to that one, which is a chase. And there are already a lot of entries. We're probably not gonna get through these. Is this a Christmas one? It looks so Christmassy. The red color. No, it's space. Oh my god. Okay, there's lots of awesome stuff in the next month, which is January, and we're probably gonna have a look at these in just a couple of days, hopefully next week, so you don't have to wait for it that long. Are there any questions that you guys have about animation, about learning animation? Then I would try my best to answer them. I think there was only one question that I saw so far. Z Roberto asks, where can I take classes of animation? Well, for example, you can take classes of animation on animatorisland.com/2D. It's a 2D animation class, obviously, as the title says. And a lot of the lessons there are free to watch. You can start learning 2D animation today. A lot of the rules that you will learn there also apply to 3D animation. So you can also just start with that and then learn some 3D animation later on. I also have mentoring. If you like my way of critiquing animations, you could go to animatorisland.com/mentoring, and we could schedule a Skype call, or you could get a video critique where I have a closer look at your animations and give you feedback, give you tips what you can improve, and draw over it, annotate some stuff. And here we have a question. Vanessa asks, have you tips on how to get faster creating an animation? Well, animation is probably always a lot slower than we would like it to be, because we have to face it, animation is work. Hard work, and it takes a lot of time to get animation right. But there are, of course, some shortcuts and tricks and habits that you can develop to animate faster. I think what can really help is a very organized workflow. If you will have a look at how the pros work, they really have certain steps that they go through step by step, and they vary a little depending on who's animating. But they all have in common that they take some time for preparation. And for beginners, this sounds a little bit weird. Why, like, this preparation often has to happen outside of the animation software. A lot of beginners, they want to jump into the animation software because they feel that they are faster when you're already in your animation software as fast as possible. But no. Good planning makes you faster later. So if you plan your shot, for example, through thumbnailing, try to find your poses, just drawing stick figures, draw tiny little drawings to find good poses that are clearly readable and fun and have a lot of angles and variety and a flow, and then build these poses in 3D afterwards. There are also other methods. Some people like to write an inner monologue so they know which emotions and poses they have to hit in the face. Like, they would write sentences, and each of these sentences would correlate to one little facial expression. Like, if a person would be thinking, it would be like, I could go over there, or maybe there. Is there, like, let's take the Santa that was looking for a window. Like, you could put some believable acting in there by having him feel emotions one sentence after the other. Like, why is it so difficult to get into this house? Let's see if I can find something. Oh, there's a window there. Okay, let's try that. You know, I infused some attitude in this by him being a little annoyed that will change my poses a lot. So, planning will also make your animation a lot more believable. And after you've done that, do blocking first. Don't animate immediately in spline, because if you spline your animation immediately, if you interpolate immediately, you will lose focus for what things could be wrong and for the big picture. So do a lot of blocking. Block your main poses, but also block your breakdowns. And the breakdowns are the poses that are in the middle between two key poses to see how you come from A to B. And nothing else. Don't let the computer interpolate. Then you could add anticipation and overshoot. Still no interpolation. And you could even add some poses for eases to mark that this motion is starting slowly. You put in a key, like if that was my starting position here, you put in a key that's just a little bit different to indicate that you're easing, and then you have the breakdown, and then you have the ease, then you have the overshoot, then you ease again, and then you ease into the standing pose, and then you are in the standing pose. And you do all that while you are still in blocking, while you don't interpolate. And then in the next phase, you have time to just focus on the curve editor, just focus on making the interpolation better. So yeah, plan well and separate your workflow into steps. Okay. Oh yeah, bye, Frank Makes Movies. Glad I could help Vanessa with the inner monologue tip. Yeah, try it. It can be really cool. I think the person who animated Scrat in Ice Age, you know, the squirrel with the nuts, one of the animators, he always wrote inner monologues for Scrat. Like, where's the nut? There's the nut. Is this a good place for the nut? This is really fun. Okay. Dragon Skunk also says, I'll definitely try a more structured method to my animation, blocking and all that. Yeah, it can help a lot. Like, it might make you slower at first because you're not used to a workflow, and, you know, in a new workflow, you will always be slower at first. But it fixes a lot of the going back, and you can make changes relatively easy when you already have everything splined, and especially when you already made the offsets, like you already made follow-throughs and stuff like that in splining, then it can get very annoying and very difficult to fix. Whereas in the blocking, when all your keys are still nicely, you know, just a row of keys, that can really help a lot. Okay, guys, I gotta go. But if anybody wants to talk to me directly, personally, in a personal Skype call, you also can do that by going to animatorisland.com/mentoring. Let me show you that thing again. That link. I would be really interested in what kinds of animations you guys are working on. It could be just an exercise that you're doing. It could be a project that you're doing. It could be your demo reel. We could have a look at your demo reel and see what we could improve to make it even better. And yeah, improve your chances to get a job in the industry. Or just have a nice chat about animation, whatever. The first mentoring talk is free. We can talk for 15 minutes just about anything that you want me to talk about. And yeah, okay, I'm already getting tired. I'm starting to ramble when I get tired. Like, I feel like I'm really going off track the later it gets in the live stream. Oh well. I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, whatever it is in your part of the world. Keep animating. If you're interested in the AnimChallenge, you can just look for the AnimChallenge group on Facebook. There's a monthly challenge, a monthly theme at the beginning of every month. You can submit your animation just by posting in the group. If you post in the group, it will automatically be shown in the video section of the group. And this is the area where I will be going through the animations. If you submit the animations via email, I cannot see them. So yeah, always enter in the group, upload your animation in the group for a chance that I will be having a look at it next month. All right. Hope to see you again. Please subscribe, like, and share Animator Island videos, all that good stuff. Thank you very much, and see you later. Gute Nacht, Vanessa. Bye bye. Good night.